Well, here you go. Here's Paradise right here. Paradise Podcast back for round 2. It's your boy Caleb Hall with Pat Jamross.
Let's go, let's go.
And D Brown again, as always, on the phone.
Welcome, boys.
All right, well, we got a good podcast here for you again. Heading into week 4, we had an exciting week 3. Saw how a crazy amount of trades panned out this weekend. Had another trade today we'll get to, but hey, Ross, got to give you the congrats on the win, man.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, our worst performance so far, but a win's a win. We're on to week 4 where, I mean, you got to get to 2-2, got to get to 500, but it felt good. It felt good being in the living room and taking down DAP. Always a good feeling.
Pretty much done by 4 or 5 o'clock.
Oh, yeah, it was over. I mean, Kirk Cousins is probably the reason that happened. Lindsey getting ejected, a few stare downs the DAP way. It was a good time.
We think back to last Thursday. Carlos Hyde starts the week, and Ross is panicking.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
great point.
To think DAP only gets 60 points after Hyde goes on Thursday, it's crazy, but
wild.
We're very happy, and we got a tough next 3 weeks, but we got to start with Dim this week.
Hey, well, you're on the scoreboard as far as the win column, but Matt Sheehan's not. Can we talk about that for a second? 0-3.
Sheehan's team is just not looking good at all, and he makes another trade today. I get it a little bit, going for some people that are actually going to be playing, but Sheehan's team just not looking good.
Yeah, we'll get into the trade here in a little bit, but first, hey, Kirch and C-Mac, going through they're still undefeated.
Yeah. Kirch's team is looking really strong right now. Mac fights out, somehow survives. Back-to-back weeks of winning by 1.2 points on Monday night. Is his luck going to run out again, and is he going to choke again?
Kid's got another Monday nighter with Mahomes going this Monday.
I know. It just keeps coming down to Monday for him.
Hey,
the thing is, I think we got the 2 clear-cut teams. I think Kirch's team is legit. He's 3-0. I think Kirch's team is going to be there for the long haul. He keeps making adjustments. But I'm really going to give a little credit to C-Mac. He pulled out a couple tight wins. But I think this team, now with Mahomes and Barkley anchoring it down, and Gordon possibly being a threat.
If Gordon can come along, that's huge for him.
He's got Kelsey, he's got McCoy, the kid's got now Sonny Michel with Burkhead out. The kid's got a couple of clear paths to a couple RB1s there. If they can pan out, I think C-Mac's team is a little legit.
Yep. It's going to be a battle this weekend, but we're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And hey, D, I got to give you some credit too. You're 2-1, but as far as points scored, you're right there at the top. So your team's looking pretty good as well. Highest projected team this week. So
we're firing on all cylinders. We got another tough matchup this week playing Swags, who's also 2-1.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a very low key 2-1 out of Swags because it wasn't cheap wins. He's had 2 good wins where his team's
put up. And the thing is, David Johnson really hasn't impressed, and Swags' team is just chugging along. I think he could possibly be a threat if Johnson can get back to form.
He's got 5 really good wideouts. He's got 5 startable wideouts. He's got a deep team.
Team with the most wideouts possibly could be Dim. Dim's team just seems to be stacked at wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean, Juju is looking really good in Pittsburgh, and if Jarvis and Baker can have that connection, he could be scary. And obviously, Michael Thomas is number 1 in the wide receiver in the league right now.
Mike Thomas looking scary. Then he's got Will Fuller also on the bench with Watson. All he does is score touchdowns. I think we got some good teams in the league.
Yeah, we got some great teams. It's going to be exciting. And hey, this week in free agency, it was interesting. And hey, then we'll talk about the trade that happened today too, in the same lot right now. What about Calvin Ridley? You added him. Tyler Boyd got added. Who picked up Tyler Boyd?
I think C-Mac picked up Tyler Boyd.
Yeah, that's another big
add. Got Boyd. And for me, I was wondering if Caleb, if you were going to make a move, because I was right behind you. Well, it was Swags and then me. But I was really worried about you making a move and maybe stealing one of my guys. But for me, it was between Ridley or Boyd. And we'll talk about it a little bit later with our stock up and down. But I went with Ridley for a couple of reasons. I think he's a real talent. And think Woods is a beast too.
Yeah, they both had great weekends and both look to be pretty good players. So we'll see how that shakes out. Baker Mayfield got picked up by Joe. We'll see if he starts him. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
I hated that I had to waste a waiver claim on a defense, but I feel like the Bills last week was a fluke, and
I don't even think I knew that. Wasted a claim on a defense, shit.
And I mean, I'm in win now mode. I need to win this week, and I feel like Green Bay is going to be all up in Josh Allen's shit this weekend.
I like it.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on. We're going to do something here and a little new. We're going to start with a stock up and stock down. So we're going to talk either players, NFL teams, or owners themselves in the fantasy league. And we're going to start here with Rossi. Who's your stock up? Who you got?
So, I mean, I'm going to go with the rookie, Kirch. The stock is up. He has a great lineup. He just made a trade to get Kareem Hunt. He goes and scores 2 touchdowns. He's got 2 wide receivers that he started that, I mean, Woods was a productive wide receiver, and he goes off for 20. And then Mike Will sat out most of his rookie year, and he's looking like a bona fide star. So, I mean, Kirch's team, he trades away Tyreek Hill, and he has 2 wideouts that go better, I'd say almost triple than what Tyreek Hill put last week. So I'd say, and also he's got the worst team in the league in Lane. So he's looking like he's cruising to 4-0, and he's a scary team.
All right, yeah, I like that. I mean, got to give credit where it's due. For me, I'm going to go Juice Landry. I like Juice. On Dimmer's team, I think him and Baker are going to create a connection. Both just straight ballers. Landry's got 37 targets, 20 catches, up near 300 yards. I mean, he's going to increase that production, and it's already decent. He's just got to get in the end zone, and I think that Browns offense is going to pick it up with Baker. I mean, just from Thursday night, we saw what they can do, and I think him and Baker are going to create a connection. So I think Landry's stock is going way up. What about you, D. Brown?
I love them both, boys. And a lot of the thing I love about Ross is Kirk coming into the league rookie year, and he's just shutting everybody up. The kid's producing. He's putting up numbers. He drafted a good team. He's made a couple of good trades. Kirk looks like an all-around good fantasy player in the Valley. And for you, Hall, I really think that Juice Landry he hasn't even seen his starting lineup yet for Dim. Looks like he's probably going to crack it this week with some buys or some injuries, but I think Landry's a stud, and Dim's just loaded at wide receiver like we were touching on. But with Baker Mayfield, Landry's going to be even better.
Great. So who you going?
I think he's going to make the whole Browns offense better. Carlos Hyde is going to see improvement. I think everybody. McGill through the tight end. That Ross is starting this week. Baker's going to do a lot for that Browns team. That's for sure. My stock up, I'm going with a player here. My stock up is Mike Williams. Kirch has got. I actually gave Kirch a little bit too much advice last week, and Kirch put him in the starting lineup. Mike Will, of course, goes off. First catch, 42-yard touchdown bomb. I'm sitting there like, damn it. Kirch hits me up. Me and Kirch are battling back and forth for highest score. And next thing you know, he wins it because of Mike Williams. But Mike Williams is my stock-up player. I think he's going to score a lot of touchdowns in the Chargers offense. Keenan Allen's going to draw a lot of attention. And Mike Will, I think he's the 7th overall pick. He's got a bunch of talent, and I think he's just going to score a bunch of touchdowns for the Chargers this year.
All right, yeah, we're gonna stick with you. I like that. I mean, he killed me this weekend, man. It sucked to see him and Woods and Hunt each get 2 touchdowns right in a row for Kirsch. That was tough to see, but hey, Mike Williams looks like a star. So who's your stock down? We're gonna stick with you, D. Brown. Who you got going down?
Stock down. It's a little surprising. Maybe not. Everyone might not agree with it, but I got Julio Jones as my stock down.
Wow.
Julio.
For a couple of reasons. Julio, I mean, he's hurt a lot. I just feel like, and with Calvin Ridley coming on like he's done the past couple of weeks, I think Calvin Ridley is a true threat to take a lot of the balls from Julio. Julio, first off, doesn't even score a lot of touchdowns. I think he's got 3 the past 2 years. And I think with the emergence of Ridley and Julio's questions for injuries and I just think that Julio's stock could be taking a bit of a hit.
Yeah, there was a crazy stat, like Calvin Ridley scored as many touchdowns as Julio did all of last year in one game.
Like everybody, you draft Julio Jones expecting him to put up that stat line, and then next thing you know, you got the rookie Calvin Ridley doing it. I think that's a little concerning.
I saw something on Twitter that made me crack up. It was the Falcons finally found a second wide receiver, Julio Jones. Looks
Yeah,
like Ridley
I love
might
it.
be a 1, huh? But
It's the truth. That's why I think Julio's my stock down player. A little shocking, but I'm gonna go with Julio.
all right, I'm gonna for my stock down, I'm gonna go Chris Dabson. Just
love it.
See, damn.
I mean, that running back depth he talked about, where is it at? I mean, Hyde put up, but I don't know if he's going to perform over the long haul. Ajayi, I mean, you got Smallwood, you got Sproles, you got Clement, Mark Ingram. What's he going to be when he gets back? And beyond that, what's he got? And I mean, wide receiver wise, he's got Hilton and Hill, who are both they're week in, week out. They're going to show up some weeks, but I mean, are they going to consistently put up? And not having Kelsey in that lineup is going to hurt him. Tight ends.
Yeah, I love it. That's one of the bottom feeders in the league. He goes away, and it looks like he trades away a win this week, a chance to go 2-1, and he trades it away, and a chance for Ross to be 0-3. I agree with you.
And I'm not necessarily saying his team's not good anymore. I just think that it's in a much worse spot than it was a week ago.
I completely agree. He could have had an easy win this week if he just stuck with his lineup that got him to, I think he was the second highest scorer after 2 weeks, and then he comes in. He was the one initiating all these trades to get Kareem Hunt out of town, and I wouldn't say Kareem Hunt had 2 TDs. He wasn't getting a lot of touches, but it's still, TDs are what wins you weeks in fantasy. And
he just didn't want to part of the Chiefs, I guess. I guess he just wanted Hill.
Yeah.
All right. Ross is queuing something up right now for his stock down. Let's hear it.
I'm kind of going along.
I don't think anybody on the set knows what's going on here.
Caleb saw me cue it up, so he knows. But
yeah, well, he's coming out with it right now.
It's the lawn your lines where I'm going with a star wide receiver, and obviously he's still going to put up numbers, but I'm just saying he's not going to be the Antonio Brown that we've seen before. I think his stock is down. I think
Come on.
I think Big Ben has fallen in love with Juju. I think Antonio Brown saw that and got pissed in, I think, game 2. Yeah. I mean, if you look at his stats, week 2, he had 17 targets and 9 receptions. But that's because KC went up like 21-0, and Big Ben threw about 55 passes. And he still only had 67 yards. So I think Antonio Brown will still produce. I just don't think he'll be that bona fide number 1 wideout that is going to put up 2 touchdowns a week and 100 yards. So I think his stock is down.
I love it. I agree a little bit. To be honest, Juju looks like the number 1 there this year. Ben's just looking his way.
That's what I'm saying. Ben is Juju's target, or AB's targets went from 17 to 9, and I feel like on Monday night he was just looking for Juju every play.
I don't think Brown's reached over 100 yards this year in the first 3 games of the year, and you're drafting him number, what was it, 5 or 7, 8, Hall?
Something like that. Yeah.
I think you're expecting a lot more out of him than what he's shown, and with Juju and Bell not there, I think you're right, Ross. AB's getting a little upset.
I mean, he's underperformed, and he's projected for 1,100 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 128 catches. I'll live with that, and I think he'll pick it up.
I think I can see him improving a little bit, but
all right,
I don't know.
I hear you guys. Julio and Antonio in that stock down category. 2 star wide receivers possibly being replaced by 2 what looks to be studs in Ridley and Juju. We'll see what happens there. We're going to move on to another new segment here. We got lineup calls of the week. We're going to look at some of the matchups that we got going on here. They should be up there on your screen. And we're going to talk, hey, who are these guys going to go with? What's the right call? What are they looking at? And how are they going to set these lineups come Sunday? So we're going to start off Joe Dim. He's got Baker Mayfield, just picked him up. Is he going to start him? Or is he going after Matt Stafford? What do you think, D. Brown? Who do you go after?
To me, I'm starting Baker Mayfield. He won the Heisman Trophy, number 1 overall pick. Stafford's been inconsistent. I know he's a rookie, so he could be inconsistent himself. But Baker, he looks good. He brought the Browns back to their first win. He's got some weapons there. I say, why not go with Baker Mayfield? 2
decent matchups. Stafford's got Dallas at Jerry World, and Baker is at Oakland. So,
well, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing to bring up, because I think the matchup I like more there is got to be Baker against the Raiders rather than that Stafford against the Cowboys. Defense has looked tough a little bit.
I would agree. Cowboys D has looked pretty legit so far, but I'm obviously not out here trying to give advice to my opponent. I don't know what I would do, but Baker had an on-the-road first start. I mean, the element of surprise of him coming in against the Jets, I think, kind of threw off the Jets, where the Raiders have a little bit of tape. They have a week to prepare. It could be a different story.
No Khalil Mack. No Khalil Mack on that defensive line.
That is a game changer. So
hey, is Baker this year's Deshaun or Carson Wentz? We'll see.
Well, we will see.
If Joe Dim found it right there, he's going to be a happy camper, especially if it's the same week that he lost Jimmy G, which is tough. All right, let's move on. J-Ross, same matchup. You got Aaron Jones in your flex currently, but you can go Marvin Jones, you can go Nelson Aguilar, you can go Antonio Callaway maybe, even Matt Breida. So you got some options. That flex is looking like it could be a toss-up.
Yeah, I mean, I was texting with D. Brown earlier in the week. I think I could see myself playing any of those players you just named. I don't think Breida's going to end up playing, / they're just coming off losing Jimmy G. So I don't love him, but he is tied for leading the league in rushing, and he's doing it on little carries. He had 9 carries for like 100 yards the other day. But I think I've harped on it. Matt Berry's harped on it. Aaron Jones is legit. He had
his homie, Matt Berry.
He's had 6 carries for about 40-something yards the other day, and if they weren't down big and needing to pass, I think it would have been different. I think they're going to be up against the Bills. They're going to be running clock in the fourth quarter. So right now I'm going Jones, but I could see myself throwing Marvin Jones in there or Royce Freeman.
Ooh, he steals it right out of my mouth. I was going to say give it to the rookie and have it come down to Monday night. Give it to Royce Freeman. Why not? He seems to be the golden guy in Denver. Lindsey coming off a suspension. I would say go with Royce. I got a lot of confidence in Royce Freeman, but if not, I like Nelson Aguilar after Royce Freeman. I wouldn't say. I don't think Jones is in the top 3 guys I'd start there. I would probably in the flex go Royce Freeman, Aguilar, or Breida if he plays.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Royce is definitely getting some consideration. KC's rush defense has been junk. I think Denver's liked Royce all along. Lindsey just did a boneheaded thing and got himself suspended. Maybe he gets put in the doghouse and they give Freeman some more carries. Yeah. So I'm taking that into consideration for sure.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk about C-Mac. What do you think he does in his flex? He's got Gordon in there. Well, he had Gordon in there earlier. He's got Crabtree, and he could also go the new guy, Tyler Boyd.
I got some insider information on this one. He was hitting me up earlier, and he was saying Crabtree. This was his words. He said Crabtree's due, and the Ravens receivers always perform on Sunday night against the Steelers. So I'm thinking he's going to lean towards Crabtree there.
That's 100% a homer pick. He wants the Ravens to go off in prime time, so he's like, I got to have one in my lineup. If you're going to put a Ravens in the lineup, I would put Buck Allen in there. I hate to say it, but they are using him in the red zone way more than they're using Collins. And his boy Josh Gordon, if he plays, Brady's going to look for him. That's a big if. So.
All right, let's move on to this.
I got one more thing to say on that one. If A.J. Green isn't a go this week because he's injured with a groin injury, I think how could you not give it to Boyd, though?
Yeah, Atlanta's both their safeties are out. Neal and their other guy just got hurt. Yeah. So that's tough. And then you look at my team too. I'm sitting here. It's a tough decision for me this week. I've got Kenny Golladay who's looked good, Demaryius Thomas who's got a good matchup, Lamar Miller who's got a decent matchup, and then Dalvin Cook, 2nd round pick. I mean, you got 2 of those 4 guys I'm going to probably end up starting. Tough for me to say who I'm going to go with at this point.
I think you got to have DT in there on Monday Night Football against KC's terrible pass defense. He's going to score a TD. He's a red zone target. And I think, quick question, Hall, is it panic mode for Dalvin Cook? The guy tore his ACL last year. He's already hurt right now. He didn't really produce 16 for 40 and 16 for 38 or 10 for 38 in his first 2 games.
Okay, and he also has over 50 receiving yards.
I'd say a big reason for Hall's 1 and 2 start is the underperformances of Cook and Brown his first 2.
I completely agree.
And it's far from panic mode for me. But anyways, back to the original question.
Yeah, like I said, I like DT. I think Indy D is junk, and Lamar Miller's a nice start. You have him in there right now, and I don't know why you haven't started him yet this season. But Lamar Miller's done good. I know I can't take off the top of my head who Hall has played over him, but
I started Lamar.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, I started him week 1 and 2.
Scratch that, people.
Started in the first 2 weeks here, folks.
Bloopers. For me, I think you got to go Kenny Galladay. I was banging the drum last week. Galladay looks like a stud. He looked like a beast last year when he was healthy, and he looked like a stud this year. And Stafford just throws the ball around. I like some of Kenny Galladay, and I don't know. I'm not a big Lamar Miller fan, and I would say if Cook plays, you got to go Cook.
Yeah.
Second round pick, you got to give it to him. I would say Cook and Galladay.
We'll be in the lab tomorrow making the decision.
It should be we got a Thursday night football matchup tomorrow.
It's a big one too. Rams, Vikings. I got
in there.
It's big in my matchup too. We got Gurley going, the star of the fantasy world. But the Vikings D, like I'm happy to see
all
that.
eyes on the Papa Dim this week. Papa Dim and J-Rob.
Papa Dim. Oh, that's a big. If Dim's team started as hot as ever, if we can get him to 2-2, I would be very happy.
I think we can pull up the on-record statement last week of me saying Dim's going to lose the C-Mac and then he's going to skid. And this could be the start of the skid.
Quick update here. Hall has not started Lamar Miller yet. I was correct.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we're back on. We got people digging here. Look how good we are on the podcast.
Oh, man. All right, well, with that, we're going to finish off with the quote of the week. This
all goes into the I'm starting the week 1 and 2. Ross with a scratch that table.
Classic. All right, Kirchy gave us the quote of the week this week. Will we ever see J. Ross electrify the booth again? We're going to leave that one up to J. Ross. What do you got to say?
Never say never.
We hate it.
Bad dreams, too. All right, folks. Tune in tomorrow for the Thursday night game, and then we'll be back at you on Sunday morning for a little Sunday preview. Enjoy.
Fuck Team Dimmer.
Enjoy the rest of your weeks, boys.
Good to be here with you, boys.
Peace.